Hello, YouTube, Internet, world. Welcome back to Dime Store Cinema, the show in which I watch low budget, independent, foreign, and classic cinema. I give you my 2 cents so you can decide if it's worth your dime. So today's going to be a little different. No editing. I started a new shift at work. I'm not getting any sleep, and I have absolutely no time for editing. So you get to watch me fumble over my words and barely be able to be coherent whatsoever. So I'm sure you'll have a lot more fun watching this video because you'll get to laugh at how ridiculous I am. In any case, guys, girls, people, humans, I have to talk about this film. I have to, because it changed my life. And I'm only being a little sarcastic. Maybe a lot sarcastic. It changed something in me. And I'll get to that in a minute, how it influenced me. In any case, it's called Ninja Apocalypse. It was made in 2014. And when I first watched it a couple years ago. And I've since watched it again, and I've researched a little bit. But when I first watched it, I was really on board with it because I thought that it was just a group of stuntmen and women who had no budget. They just threw a movie together just to have something to do, to showcase their talent, to be able to work on something, have a credit to their name, be able to show it to anyone looking for talent, that kind of stuff. So I was really on board with it. I was like, that's great. They're being proactive about their career. They're trying to get in the door. They're, all that kind of stuff. So I was excited about it. And, it was a terrible movie, but for what I thought it was, I was excited about it. But no. This was a movie. This was a movie that people tried to make. There was a director, and these actors were actors. They were acting. I mean, they emoted some things. So, I mean, in as much as emoting is acting, I suppose they did that. Sort of. Yeah. Yeah, finding out that this was actually a movie that someone was trying to make and not just a fun project that people threw together really makes this movie much, much worse. It's bad. So the premise is it's a post-apocalyptic movie. Basically, the surviving humans are broken up into these clans of ninjas. And there's a Grand Master. He calls a meeting of all of the clans. And the clan that we follow through the movie is framed for the murder of the Grand Master. And then they get placed in this video game type scenario where they get trapped in the basement of this bunker building type thing, and they have to work their way up. So it's like going through levels, and every level has a different type of adversary. I mean, it's right out of a video game script. And yeah, it's bad. But I will say, you have to watch the movie for this one line. There's a line towards the end of the movie where a guy says, with this hand motion, this is what he does. He does this with his hand. He's channeling Lon Chaney from Phantom of the Opera. He does this, and he says, "It's an illusion," and he delivers the line like that. It's an illusion, and not only did this actor decide to deliver the line like that, but the director also said, "Yeah, that's good," And the editor said, "Yeah, we'll put that in the movie." These three things came together and allowed that line and that scene to be in this movie. Now, granted, it is the saving grace of this movie because I laughed for the rest of the movie because of that line. So, I mean, as far as the ending goes, I don't even remember because I was still laughing from that line. But it's the most off the wall performance I have ever seen. And it's the kind of thing that will just automatically make your day better because here's the thing, no matter how bad your day is, you can watch that scene and say, look, at least I'm not that actor. Because that actor has to live knowing that that performance and that line is forever at the fingertips of anyone who has any streaming capability and or just a couple bucks to download this movie. He has to live with the knowledge that that is forever on digital availability. He has to live with that knowledge. He has to know that. So no matter what you're going through, at least you're not that actor. At least you don't have to live with that knowledge and that embarrassment and that anger at the director and the editor. So it makes your life better. Regardless of how bad the movie is, it actually makes your life better. Now, here's the thing. I think that it's extremely important for people to watch at least one terrible movie in their life. I think it helps you appreciate good movies more. I think it also helps to showcase how difficult it is to make movies in general, in particular low-budget movies. I think it just really helps you to expand your understanding of film in general. And it kind of goes along with my philosophy of being a film critic. I'm not the type of critic. I don't like to focus on the negative aspects of movies. I will point them out. I will point out something that doesn't work. But I think that it's extremely important for everyone to realize that even though I may point out the negatives sometimes, I think that all films are important and all films can be learned from. You can learn about yourself, about society, and about art in any film that's ever made, regardless of how lowbrow it is and regardless of how terrible it is. Because every film is a reflection of something. Just like all art is a reflection of something, so too all movies are a reflection of something. So you can see something if you choose. Now, sometimes that reflection is just studio involvement or juvenile mindset. But I don't necessarily think that that's always bad. It's important to have that perspective on things. Because if you're looking at it as art and you're analyzing it as art, it's important to understand the role of a studio. And sometimes you see that role more clearly in some movies than in other movies. So in the movies where the studio is too involved, you can at least learn about the studio mindset a little bit. And that gives you a greater knowledge of the society that you're living in. Same too with juvenile humor. You learn about the writer and or the director or the producers. You learn about that mindset. There are still people in that Arrested Development where they haven't progressed to either the talent of writing or the clarity of thought to put two ideas together without it falling apart. And I think it's an important it's an important perspective to have. We can't demand everything be the same. We shouldn't, because that'll make the world boring. So I think they all have their place, and that's kind of how I view critique. It's like it's like a food critic. You know, you go to a 5-star restaurant and you have certain expectations. Now, you go to a burger joint, you don't expect the 5-star quality. You have to look at it in its own merit. It's like this food is bad for you. It doesn't taste particularly good, but every now and then you just need that in your system. It makes you feel sick, but a lot of times that sickness is comforting in a weird way. And I think movies and art in general are very similar to that. And I think criticism and being a film critic is about that. It's about recognizing that. But that's way too heady for this movie, because there's nothing intellectually stimulating about this movie unless you make it intellectually stimulating, which you can do with anything. So once again, watching bad movies can sometimes force you to think harder than watching a good movie, because you have to really think about what was going on, how this was made. It can be really difficult if you're trying to find positives. So, you know, anything can be a mental experiment. Anything can be beneficial to you if you let it. And one of the reasons why I like doing reviews of low-budget and independent films is it gives me the opportunity to really do that, to flex any type of social and positive muscle I have in my brain to really try to find the things to latch onto in any particular movie or story. And in this one, like I said, the part that you need to see is it's an illusion. So it's an illusion, everyone. Apparently, that's what he said. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please leave comments berating me for being stupid and saying ridiculous things. Thank you guys. Have a good day.